Greetings in the precious name of Jesus. Grace to you and peace from God the Father and our Lord Jesus Christ. We welcome you to Choices and pray that you would enjoy the program. You know, with all the difficulties, challenges, tests, and trials that we are faced with every day, having Jesus Christ with us is encouraging. He is able to deliver. Therefore, we can face the situation with confidence, knowing that He promised to be with us even to the end of our lives. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." We have your interests at heart. And to the best of our ability and with the help of God, we will continue to reach out to you. You are precious. All of you that are viewing this program, you're precious, you're valuable, and you're priceless. And so God bless you, and God continue to bless beautiful Guyana. Thank you for staying tuned with us. Bless.
Last week, we discussed the importance of our young people with respect to nation building, with respect to the development of our country. We advocated that all stakeholders needed to come on board so that we could collectively impact the lives of our young people in particular, who in not so distant future will take up the mantle of leadership. I think it was a student last night, and she did say that these were her words. So I told her what she should do is actually make sure she patterned that. She said consistency plus intentionality is equal to longevity. And I'm saying that because we recognize as a people that we need to see changes. But as we advocate for change, it just can't be in our mind, it just can't be a thought. So it has to go beyond that. And we have to see now the application of a series of intentional, logical, observable behaviors if we're going to see the change that we want to see. And all we're saying is that we have to stop talking now and find ways to invest in our young people, regardless of whatever might be their giftings and their talents. We have to discover and help them to discover what it is and to feed and to develop their giftings so that they could become serious contributors to the development of our society. So if we see them going astray, if we see them taking drugs, we see them liming, engaging in time-wasting activities, it is for us now to, with a critical eye, to examine those behaviors and arrest the behaviors. And it can't be one man. And so we did mention the importance of the church, the importance of the school, the importance of the wider community in terms of helping our young people to develop. I had the privilege of teaching the young boys yesterday. I think it's 33 of them. And so lots of the young people, even though they're gifted, they didn't know exactly where they want to go, what they wanted to do. And so we had a little career guidance experience. So they had a sheet of paper. They had to say what it is that they want to become and what plans they have in becoming what they wanted to become. And it was interesting to know that they had ideas, but they didn't know some of the things that needed to be done. And that is the kind of information and the kind of treatment we must give it to our young people rather than abusing and dismissing them as deviants. The crux of the matter is that they're talented, they're gifted, but every stakeholder must see the benefit that these persons can bring and put them on a trajectory that will not lead to their destruction, but will lead to their own advancement, and by extension, the advancement of our nation. So we want to continue to speak to some of the issues that we see and how we could arrest those issues as a collective as we think how we could advance our country. Gentlemen and ladies.
One of the things I continue to examine is the number of opportunities. I understand that young people can pursue studies at the tertiary level, and it might be free. And I understand there are lots of opportunities for them to pursue some level like that. I think about the story in Times Magazine referring to one of the new senators in the US Senate, Raphael Warnock, who said his father told his siblings, silver and gold have I none. Silver and gold have I none. So they knew that their father, who was a preacher, didn't make a boast about this. While he emphasized the importance of education, he reminded them that he did not have any silver nor gold. So it was up to them. And by the grace of God, well, you see where he is right now, and he gives full credit to his father for alerting him. We want to encourage our young people. This is not where you start. You might have a rough start, but this race is not determined when you go and you hear on your marks. You might be on your marks now, and you're wondering, am I going to make it? Each one of us were given gifts and talents. You and I have a duty to develop it. And you will be amazed to see others coming out of the wallpaper to assist you. Please stop believing that you are nothing. Start believing that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
Silver and gold have I none. Interesting words, Bishop. As you mentioned that particular remark that father said to the now Senator Warnock, it reminded me that I guess basically that was the same situation I was in when I had to go and study. My father never said those words to me, but I knew that was the situation. And fortunately, as you mentioned about persons coming out of the woodwork to help you, I trusted in God. Said, I don't know how it's going to happen, but God, you're going to do this for me. And person did come out of the woodwork. I've told the story before. It was the man I bought bread from that stepped forward to do the sponsoring so I can go on my scholarship, because I'd gotten a scholarship, but I couldn't put up the surety. But I mentioned that the fact that this baker came forward and he sponsored me, because in the context of very often we want our young people to do well. And right now it's very topical, athletics, it's in the air. And I know sometimes we watch and we see our sister Caribbean islands, especially like sister Caribbean countries, especially like Jamaica doing very well. And we say, oh, when were we going to have an athlete from Guyana? But at the end of the day, these things just don't happen. There must be a system that's put in place to support these athletes. And let me take the opportunity to recognize our two athletes. I think we have a gentleman there, Emmanuel Archibald. I saw him progress from the preliminary round into the other round. He won his race in the preliminary round. Unfortunately, he didn't make it out to the other. And then we had a female, Jasmine Abrams, I believe her name was. She, and she made it out of, as far as the semifinals in the 400 meters. Yes, so she didn't get out to the first round in the 100, but she did pretty well. She was within a half a second of the person who won that heat. So I want to recognize those two athletes. They didn't fail to progress or they didn't fail to go forward. They actually succeeded. So I want to recognize them. But I want to take this opportunity to say that as we yearn for young people to do better, we must have systems in place to support them. So whether it be somebody coming forward to sponsor them, whether it be for academics or whether it be in their sporting careers, we have to support these young people. They need textbooks, they need coaches, they need different things. So we must, as we say in our local parlance, put our money where our mouth is, and we certainly can see better things happening for young people. Because for some persons, let's go stick with the sporting theme, that is their way out from a situation of depravity where they get involved in crime and a whole host of ills that we don't really want them to get involved in. So we must support our young people.
I totally agree with you, Deacon Orson. I think you were reading my mind. It's just spot on. Dr. Hodson in his opening statement spoke about intentional, but I also like the word, I want to add to that, I like the word deliberate. As in summarizing what you were saying, we have to be deliberate in assisting to getting our youth off of the road. We all read recently about the various ill behaviors in a few high schools in our country, Guyana. However, we all know children can only mimic what they see in society. So this is how they can mimic these deviant behaviors. They can also mimic the good behaviors, but we need the role models to step up. We need a deliberate support system to be in place. Yes, there are systems in place, I'm aware, but I am also aware that we can do better. My thinking is that we need the business sector of our society to assist in investing in these youths. The government alone cannot do it all. Dr. Hudson spoke about the collaborative approach. That is the approach that we need. Parents, business sector, government, other leaders, civil society leaders, and we all come together. On another program, I think there was a mention of a think tank. Guyana as well, we can go down this road. It doesn't apply to the developed countries alone. Developing countries as well can create think tanks. What is needed to assist our youth from lining on the corner? Whichever society, whichever ethnic race, what is needed for improving this area? And we pull together these minds and we listen to these minds and we come up with strategies and systems and we be deliberate in helping our youths. Whether it be sports, whether it be education, whether it be arts, whether it be and music is including in arts. But for me, Deacon Orson and team, we need to be deliberate and assisting in investing monies, investing time, investing mentors. And we can't say, I have time for my children alone. We can start at the community level. We can start in one community as a trial, see how it goes. What is the best sport that we can medal in, as you mentioned sport? What is the best sport? Can we come up with the best sport? What is it? Boxing? Is it cricket? Well, cricket is not done at athletics or Olympics as yet. But what is the best sport we can medal? Is it swimming? Can we channel our resources there and create an example and then we build from that? What is it that we need to do? But we are all talking, we need to be deliberate in our actions and in leadership so that we can come out of this deliberate actions.
I wanted to really agree with what Pastor Kurt was indicating, the need for teamwork. As I look at my own life now, the opportunity to become a doctor, I realized how many persons were involved in that process. And it shows me that it doesn't take one sector to get that task done, but a collaboration of efforts. I got through with a scholarship because somebody came into the community. They heard me speaking, introducing not a person of importance for the nation. And they came to me after that meeting and said, what do you want to become? And I said, I knew what I wanted. I wanted to become a doctor. I had no idea where I was going to find the resources. So when I hear silver and gold have I not, I understand that so well. I understand that from the bottom of my heart. I know what it is to want to become something and not know how to become that. I know what it is to be rejected because of a community that I come from. I come from Buxton, and I'm never ashamed of saying that I'm Buxtonian. But I know what it is to allow God to come, to allow persons in senior positions to come to my community, to hear this little girl speak and speak well and say, listen, she got something. It's not silver and gold, but it's something that I'm prepared to invest in. And right in my backyard of Buxton, I will never forget it. I was told, when you finish sixth form, we will offer you a scholarship to represent this nation. That's part one. So I got the scholarship. I got my tuitions covered, but my suitcase was not packed. I didn't have the meals. I didn't have many things that many other young people had. I had the grace of God. But you know what? I thank God today for my bishop, who also saw potential and said, we as a church will support you with a monthly stipend. I want to say this openly because I understand what it is to benefit in places where I least expected anything. And to watch my bishop, as a team, they came together and I was given a monthly stipend to make this work. So I started, I want to say I got a government scholarship, but then I had my church come alongside me. Then I had other persons who came and say, Doc, we know you could do this. We see your determination, and so we will support you. And so now when I look and I see that I was able to become this doctor that I am today, I have so many persons to be grateful for. And I'm saying teamwork makes the dream work. And being in a depressed community does not give you the opportunity to say that it cannot happen and it will not happen. Rather, it motivates you to become all that you have to become. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Watch God open doors that you never dreamed, think, or imagine could be opened for you. Trust God and look at God do what only He alone can do. This is a group effort. I like what it said. It's not just government. It's not just the church. It's not just the business community. It is all of us. If we're going to do it and do it well, let's do it together for our young.
Excellent.
Well, if you're not motivated by that, I'm not sure what could really motivate you. It's amazing. You know, as you spoke, I thought about the whole notion of uncommon eyes. And you might have heard it before on this program, but you know I like to speak on the law of recognition. The law of recognition by Mike Murdoch says anything that is unrecognized is uncelebrated. Anything that is uncelebrated is unrewarded. Anything that is unrewarded exists your life. And I have a sense that, you know, even as we want to play a part, we have to allow the Lord to really open our eyes, because we're going to see people that may not look like they have anything much. As a matter of fact, they might have a sour attitude. You know, God might give you the wherewithal, the vision to see through that and see beyond that. Because many of us, you know, we didn't look too well, but somebody saw beyond the very natural and pursued in spite of, and look at what we would have become today. So, you know, my encouragement to you is have those uncommon eyes. Ask God to give you uncommon eyes, because we really need it if we're going to really tap in and develop the giftings that we see around us. Amen.
The encouragement, Reverend Semple, having uncommon eyes. And I believe people, you might be looking at this broadcast and saying, what can I do, you know, to be a part of this process? There is so much you can do. And sometimes I believe that we can become event-oriented, where we are inspired by something great that was done. And then a few weeks after, a few months after, you know, that kind of motivation dies out. So it is important. We need the people with the passion. We need the people with the uncommon eyes. We need the people who will do the research and help our young people, like that official that came in the village of Dr. Nelson and said, we want to do X, Y, Z. So we have to have the people, and you can be one of those persons who can help in whatever little way you can. So we need the consistency that we were talking about. We need the people with the passion, and let us work together and bring to the fore our skills, our gifts. It could be financially, it could be moral support, it could be, linking and bringing the nexus between the dream, the vision into reality. There's so much we can do to help our young people. And please let us just move beyond the part of saying and get into action and help each other as we fulfill our purpose, and we help those young people to fulfill their purpose also. Reverend Semple, there's I know you like Mike Murdock, and there's another one I have for you. Mike Murdock said, the secret to your future is hidden in your daily routine. The secret to your future is hidden in your daily routine.
Excellent.
And those are powerful words. What it is that we do daily, what it is that we contemplate, how do we operate? And I'm not just speaking to young people, because we are talking about how we could help young people. And I think I heard Dr. Keisha talking about consistency. So if we want to see the change in people, it can't be a one-off. Like we've started to, looking at our children in the school system and so on. And I keep saying to the officers who we work together that we cannot start and stop. And so that could be applicable on a broader scale, and it could be applied also to an individual. What do we do daily? Do we spend a lot of time gaffing, liming? What do we do? And so the secret of our future is hidden in our daily routine. Do we try to learn? Do we expose ourselves to teaching? Do we see ourselves as a contributor to our development, to the development of other people? And so I think these are the things that, we have to get into the minds of our young people, because you can't spend every day just not doing anything. You have to do something productive. And I think that many of our young people are beginning to catch on. But I think it is important, incumbent upon us to continue to speak this way, so that whatever we say will be cemented in their spirit for the purpose of transformation.
Lemar, I am just waiting on you to jump in at this point.
I want to endorse the point that Dr. Hudson just made with mentorship. I always remember my bishop with him pointing out that we have too many people, just pointing out the problems, and we don't have many actually offering solutions. And that's something that I've always gravitated to. Like Dr. Keisha, not knowing where to go, but you have an idea of what you want to become. I was scared to share my vision and dreams with any and everybody, because I was thinking they will just point out all the problems. They would say, why are you choosing to go and study at the University of the West Indies? Why can't you just go at the regular university? So I was scared to tell people. But I've always said to myself, I hold Proverbs 15:22 dear to my heart, that purposes are established in a multitude of counselors, and they're disappointed for a lack thereof. And so I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to go share my dreams and aspiration. And so I went and shared it with my leadership, and they also backed my vision. So why am I telling you this? I'm saying this because we oftentimes think that, the onus is only on the mentors. But us as young people, as the mentees, we need to make ourselves available. We need to sell our craft. We can just try to stand out, because there's a lot of people that are actually doing what we're doing. So you have to just make yourself marketable, stand out, be consistent, as Dr. Hudson just pointed out. Stay to your craft, be faithful to it, and just know how to present yourself. And when that opportunity comes, people will invest in you. As Pastor Paul pointed out, you don't have to invest big in someone else. I recently saw one of our athletes became a brand ambassador of a particular company. As simple as that, it can start. You can say, hey, well, this guy is extremely talented. Let me go and make him a brand athlete for my company. And you get free. It's a beneficial relationship both ways. You get free advertisement. You can advertise your product all over the world. And that person, that young athlete or that young person is a dream is being recognized. So it's a beneficial relationship both ways.
As you hear coming out of this program, my takeaway is the power of the corporate responsibility. And you can see that coming from even from the church level. And I pray that more of it will come from the private sector environment where we can back our young people. It's too much when we are just able to describe the problem. There must be a solution. And I echo, I think it's Limar who celebrated Bishop Messiah. He always say, Winston, when you come to me with a problem, please bring a solution also. And the Assemblies of God very soon is going to launch a program that will be able to do just that and to bring some leadership strength so that youth will be able to be empowered to do the other things that they do in the different environments. Look out for that program, One Hope Guyana, in collaboration with the Assemblies of God.
This has been an opportunity for us to reflect. Personally, I'm reflecting publicly with my colleagues on the set. In the backdrop, I'm thinking about the power of the imagery that is coming out from Oregon in the United States of America. And I'm speaking about the sports, the World Championship. I am not ashamed to say, as a result of the prominence and the hard work of the Jamaican athletes, there are some words of the Jamaican national anthem I have added to my repertoire because you're hearing it over and over again. I aspire that before I go to the great beyond, we will hear our own national anthem played in some country around the world, and a little boy or girl will stand there with our golden arrowhead flying in the background and hearing our anthem, which is quite beautiful, by the way, being played for gold. And we will then discover it's not just about politics, but just celebrating who we are. And if we are intentional, and if we become deliberate, and we invest, and we truly become, as our national motto speaks about, one people, one nation, one destiny, one Guyana. Who will stop us? This is Choices. We'll see you next week.
We thank you for joining us on Choices today. Remember, you can join us at First Assembly, LNP Durban Street, Workmanville, Georgetown, Guyana, for any of our special services. I'm Celicia on behalf of the set, reminding you that your whole life is the sum of your choices. God bless you.